So we're going to go ahead and get started tonight's class. Like I was saying, it's going to be supporting your low back and strengthening it. So to start, we're going to lay over a block. You can also take a blanket and roll it up. That's like a throw blanket. Like, our throw blankets are kind of far away. Here we go. So blanket, rolling it up into a nice little burrito is another great supportive way that you can get into this pose if you don't have yoga blocks, but you will want to block for our balancing portion of the evening. And I think there's a couple of new people on, so welcome everyone to Patagonia's community yoga class on Wednesday nights, or evening-ish here. I'm in Denver, but potentially a little bit earlier or a little bit later, depending on where you're joining us from. To start out, we're gonna come to our back, and you're gonna take your blanket or your block and place it so it's long ways, like perpendicular to your mat. And then come to rest down on your elbows. Take the start of your prop, bring it right to the middle of your low back. So we're looking for where the lumbar spine and the thoracic spine meets, where the curves change. And then you'll come to lie down over that block. And you can start by pressing your feet down. This will give you a little bit more support in your low back. But if you'd like to, you can extend your legs. Let the toes flap out. Let your arms drop out by your side. If this is too much and you want a little bit support under your head, then grab a second prop. It can be a less high pillow or a second block, and you can place that under your head. And once you set yourself up in this gentle chest opener pose, then go ahead and let your eyes come to close. And we'll begin to let our body release and focus in on our breathing. So start by just noticing how quick or shallow perhaps your breath is. And then bend your elbows, bring your hands to either side of your ribs. Notice with just that physical awareness, you automatically start to breathe deeper. You can feel that inflation behind your hands as your lungs fill with air. And then the depression as you gently press the air out. Now, if you are breathing through your mouth, gently seal your lips so that the air comes in and out through your nose. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to add a little constriction to our exhale. So breathe in. And then as you exhale, slightly constrict the back of your throat. So you'll start to hear the sound of your breath as it comes out. It's almost like a little groaning sound. This is Ujjayi Pranayama. Inhale. See, as you breathe in, if you can also make a little sound. As you pull the air across the back of your throat, there's just a gentle constriction in your larynx, and that's what's making that sound. And then exhale through the nose. Keeping your eyes closed, listen now for the sound of your breath. And out. Inhale. Feel your breath as it comes in behind your hands. And out. Take 3 more breaths here. Noticing how open your chest is, your sternum as it expands and contracts. And you might also notice that your shoulders have naturally dropped back. So there's a clear and open airway. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. You're going to drop your hands down. And if your knees are laid out flat, then you'll just gently bend them, plant your hand or feet on the ground, and drop over to one side. Then press yourself up just slightly, enough to move the props away. And then come back down, lie down on your back. Slowly draw your left knee in. Starting off today's class, really supportive. Pull your knee into your chest, let it glide a little bit out to the left side. So you're compressing your side ribs, and then maybe extend your right leg long. Roll your ankle out to the left and to the right, and then start to extend your left leg up. You want to support that leg, so you can interlace your hands behind your hamstring any amount. And if your hands don't interlace, just grab your leg. If you need to, you can always grab a strap, a scarf, something to get a hold of behind your leg, and then press through the ball of your foot. Slightly flex so you see your toes flare, the muscles of your foot turn on, and just an activation all the way around to your knee. Keep that and gently start to pull back. Another little trick is if this is too much on your hamstring, then keep that right knee bent, right foot pressing down on the ground, and it'll allow you a little bit more access to pulling that leg gently overhead. Imagine as though somebody was holding on to your left hip, keeping your left femur grounded down in that left hip point. Feel the support here of the mat below you. And gently just open up your hamstring. Keeping an activation, see if you can spread those toes. Inhale. And exhale. Gently bend the left knee, plant it down. Bring your right knee in. Interlace your hands. Gently draw your right knee to your right side ribs. Extend the left leg. And then inhale, inflate your lungs. Exhale, compress, gently draw your right knee down and a little bit out to the right side, feeling your thigh pressing against your side ribs. Maybe again, close your eyes, take 3 breaths here. Feeling your lung expand into your thigh and that compression. And then exhale, a little bit more room. Maybe even move your femur a little bit over to the side more. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath here. And then slowly start to straighten that right leg up. Again, if you're like, ooh, tight hammies today, bring that left leg in, let it be support. Interlace your hands or support around your quad towards your hamstring, and then flex and then point through the ball of your foot. See if you can spread those toes. Keep that leg active as you gently start to draw it in. Ooh, one side might be a little bit tighter than the other. You can also work on just slightly pointing and flexing, feeling that nerve glide as you move your foot. Maybe working your hamstring a little bit closer to your chest. Breathe in and out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly release. Bend your right knee, plant it down, and then place your left foot down on the mat next to it. So we're going to turn on our abs with just some really gentle core work here. Interlace your hands behind your head. Press your feet down. Open your elbows out to the side. Take a deep breath in. So we're going to really work on connecting with this, with our breath. And then exhale, slowly curl up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your low back on the mat. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head taps down. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the top, hold. Empty. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head taps down. If you'd like to take this all the way up, you can do that, or take a partial crunch. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly back. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once your head comes down, relax your hands. Plant your feet directly underneath your hips. And then reach down, find the edges of your mat. We're going to push up into a bridge pose. Press your feet down. You want them about hip width distance apart. So if you gaze down at your thighs, your femurs should be running parallel. You can always tickle the back of your heels, making sure that you're not setting yourself with your feet too far forward. And then gripping onto the mat on the side, imagine you could pull it apart. Active arms, now press your feet down to lift up. Walk your shoulders underneath your chest. Lift your chin just slightly. Take a deep breath in and out. So a lot of times you don't think about this, but this bridge pose is actually very similar in shape to a lot of back bends. Right? Imagine if we were to rotate this about 180 degrees so that you were on your shins. This would be Ustrasana or camel pose. Keep pulling the mat apart, active arms. Press your hips up. So in Ustrasana camel pose, you press your hips forward so that your femurs stay parallel to the ground. Knees stay hip width distance apart. Notice here in your bridge pose, if your knees have started to open out wide, if you feel the weight moving more onto the knife edge of your foot, do your best to draw your knees towards each other, like there is a light magnetic pull, something keeping them from touching, but they're drawing in. Notice a little bit more pressure on the inside of your foot. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the mat. All right, so very important when we work into our low back that our core is turning on to support us. So it's really easy to let the low back muscles do all of the work. We're going to do a lot of activation in the core and awareness so that we can pull those into the poses when we need them. So we did crunches, which really works to turn on our upper core. Now we're going to work on our lower core, our lower abdominis. We're going to extend both feet up. So our hamstrings are a little bit more open. And if they don't come parallel or perpendicular rather to the floor, that's fine. And you're going to take your hands, palms open, like outriggers. Bring them out to the side so that they can support you. Take an inhale. Exhale, press your feet forward, right to where the ceiling and the wall meet. If you're inside, I think most of us are. Inhale, come up, just to parallel or perpendicular rather. Exhale, lower down. And if you can keep your low back pressing down into the floor, maybe let them drop just below where the wall and the ceiling meet. Inhale, come up. Keep those toes spread, nice and active. Exhale, drop down, maybe a little bit lower. Keep pressing your low back down. Inhale up. And slow exhale down. You should feel like a seatbelt. Your lower abdominals working to keep you from falling forward. Inhale up. Exhale. Forward, forward. Keep spreading those toes. Low back glued down to the mat. Last time, inhale up. And exhale. Down, forward, 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 forward. Then this time, bend your knees, press your feet down into the mat. So we're going to do another round of bridge pose. And if you would like to practice wheel, I'll cue us into wheel. All right, so bridge pose and wheel, we'll still keep our feet hip width distance apart, gaze down, thighs are running parallel. Tickle your heels with your fingertips. And then again, reach your hands by your side. Press up with your feet. Walk your shoulders in so they're underneath your chest. All right, so this is our bridge pose. If you'd like to, you can stay here. You can also work with interlacing your hands, or sometimes I like to cup my heels with my pointer finger and thumb. If you'd like to press up into full wheel pose, then hands lift straight up to the ceiling, bend your elbows. Thumbs are in towards the middle, and then you'll bend your elbows more so that you place your thumbs towards your shoulder, palm down. So the heel of your hand is away from you. Now you want your arms shoulder width distance apart to the thumbs. So they're just outside your shoulders, but not super wide. Keep squeezing your knees towards each other. Inhale. Exhale, press through your hands, come to the top of your head. Let the top of your head lightly rest. Draw your elbow tips towards each other. And now press up into your full wheel. Again, draw your knees in towards each other. Gaze is behind you. Open your chest. You can rock a little bit forward and back. Making sure that you're supporting yourself. Leaving enough strength in your arms for a full breath to descend. Press your hands towards straight, elbows towards each other, feeling your low back turn on. Take an inhale. Chin towards your chest, exhale. Lower your head and your upper back down. Hands return down by your side. Take a breath in your bridge pose. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Drop your knees over to the side and gently roll all the way over, coming into all fours. All right, so lots of turning on in the back, in the core. Now we're going to start to flow a little bit and see if we can activate that core as we start to open our low back. Press your hands into the mat, lift up into a plank position. Walk your toes back so they're underneath your heels. Bend your knees slightly and then press straight back into your downward facing dog. All right. And then this first down dog, we're going to use, again, our core tonight. So you're going to spread your hands wide so you have a nice firm foundation, and then walk your feet in a little bit closer. They can be a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. This is going to make it a little bit easier if you have still those tight hamstrings. And then look at your left hand. Press it more into the mat and lift the palm up on your right. So you begin to tent your right fingers. Drop your gaze back. And then you're going to sweep your right hand back. See if you can grab your right calf or right knee, maybe even your right ankle. Now it's going to be good to have a shorter down dog so that you have a nice foundation here. As you grab a hold of your right leg, start to draw it back.
Maybe start to lift the left heel up. Maybe even play with lifting the left toes up, potentially drawing that left leg up towards the ceiling. So your low back is doing a lot of work once you start to get that leg up off the ground. See if you can find balance here in this very awkward and lopsided position. Keep the right hand on the right leg. Slowly bring the left leg down. And replace your right hand. Inhale, come forward into plank. We're going to keep our toes tucked and do what's called a tuck-toed up dog. So toes tucked, draw your chest through. Inhale, lift your gaze up. So my legs are off the ground, my toes are tucked. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. All right, good, just a little reset, opening the chest, moving on to our second side. So gaze at that right hand, spread your right palm wide. Feet walk in enough so that you can get most of that left foot planted on the ground. And then begin to tent your left palm, pulling it up, fingers pressing down. Spread that right hand, let it be your foundation, and then start to draw your left hand back, capturing calf or ankle. Press a lot into that right hand, so you're not collapsing and letting that shoulder just hang. Instead, you're pressing away. Once you got a good grip on that left side, start to play with lifting the right heel, maybe the right toes, and then potentially lifting that leg up. So as soon as you start to lift the right leg, again, your low back is working to make that lift. Your core needs to match that integration. Exhale, slowly bring that right foot down. Replace the left hand. Inhale, come forward to plank. And then exhale, start to drop your hips down. Inhale, pull your chest through, tuck-toed up dog. You can stay here for a breath, roll your shoulders back, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring your knees down to the mat. Bring your forearms down to the mat. We're gonna move into Dolphin Pose, stretching our chest a little bit more here. Tuck your toes, and then grab your biceps so that your elbows are shoulder width distance apart, and then bring your hands back forward so your forearms are parallel. Spread your palms, gaze back to your knees, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips up for Dolphin Pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, press through your forearms to shift your hips back, shifting your chest between your upper arms. Maybe walk your toes in. Inhale, press through your forearms, chest back. Exhale, walk your toes in. Again, you can walk your feet wide as the mat. And then press down through your thumb. Relax the muscles of your neck so that you're hanging down here with your neck. The head stays lifted just off of our mat. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. From here, you can either drop your knees or straighten your elbows to come into downward facing dog. Yogi's choice. In your down dog, you might want to walk your feet a little bit closer together so you have hip width distance apart. Inhale, gaze forward. Bend your knees. Exhale, step or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Draw your arms out wide. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Take a pause. Press your feet down, recollect your thoughts, and come back to that Ujjayi breath. So the breath we found at the very beginning of class. Inhale through your nose, feel a slight constriction at the back of your throat. And then exhale through your nose. Hearing that oceanic sound. Maybe close your eyes, keep pressing your feet down. Inhale. And exhale, draw your shoulders together and down your back. Last time, breath in. And out. Relax your hands down. Inhale, sweep them up wide. And then exhale, fold. Step back, take a breath in. And this time, exhale, lower down all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes, stretch your feet long, and then sweep your arms down by your side. So you can either have palms pressing to the in towards your legs, or you can interlace your hands here. We're gonna move into Locust Pose or Sombasana. This is a great way to, again, find that balance from the front to the back of the body. Lift your shoulder heads up, activate your legs, reach them back, and then start to lift head, neck, and chest. Keep your gaze down, reach your knuckles or your fingertips back. Turn on your core. Then start to lift one leg and then the other. So core activates first, and then as you lift your legs, you feel the two muscle groups on either side of your spine, your lumbar spine, your low back turn on. So the tenderloin muscles, the good sticks. Reach your fingers back, keep your chest lifted, legs lifted, stretch long. Gaze is down. Now here, find a balance, core and low back. You can notice if you relax your core, your locust pose gets a little bit limp in the middle. Your legs don't lift up quite as high. Now reactivate your core and notice how your low back also gets a little bit stronger. Take another breath in. Exhale, hold, release your hands, plant them underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and then press up and back, downward facing dog. All right, palms press down. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Bend your left knee and then open your hips to the left side. Inhale, straighten your left leg. And then exhale, rock forward, shoulders over your wrists. See if you can draw your knee forward between your elbows. Use your core to keep that thigh as close as you can to your ribs. Inhale, lengthen the left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hips. Exhale, draw it through, knee between your elbows. Inhale up, bend your left leg. Exhale through, draw your knee into your chest. Inhale up, bend your left leg. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale up, bend your left leg. Either stay here and hold, or flip your dog, bringing your left toes behind you and reaching your left arm up. Press actively through your right hand. That's your base in the front. And then slowly come back down. Left leg lifts. Exhale, draw it through, and then plant your left foot down. Nice long lunge. Make adjustments if you need to get that left foot forward. And then slowly lower your right leg down to the mat. If you have sensitive knees, then curl up the right side of your mat so you have a little cushion underneath that right knee. And then we'll lift our arms up on Janayasana Low Lunge. So this is another good one, and I know we do this pose a lot, but to notice how much your low back versus your core is working. So I want you to take your left hand, keep the pinky finger and thumb out, and draw your 3 middle fingers in. So you kind of have a hang loose sign. Then you're going to take that and press that into your low back. So pinky down, thumb up, right along your spine. So that's going to give yourself a little adjustment, little manual adjustment to find length here in your low back. And bring your right hand to your core. Notice if your core is working, keep it turned on. Think about drawing your ribs in towards the midline of your stomach. Breath in and out. Draw your left knee forward. When we're inhale, and then exhale, slowly release both hands down. We're going to keep drawing forward and slowly bend your right knee. All right, so from here, heel to butt, you're going to bring both hands up onto the left thigh. Ooh, keep using that hamstring strength to bend your knee. And then finally bring your right hand back to capture your right foot. If you can't get that foot, you can again grab a strap or a scarf to lasso that leg before you bring it up. Or just work those hamstring muscles a little bit more, holding it up. Take a breath in and out. Maybe start to lift your gaze up. Work your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Engage your core, find that lift in your low back, and then reach your left arm up as well. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. And slowly release that right foot. Bring your right hand up to meet your left. Tuck your right toes. All right, this is a good power move. You're going to keep your left foot planted, right toes tucked, and then straighten your right leg, coming into a high lunge. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Gather your strength, press into both feet. Look forward. Start to reach your hands forward. Draw your navel in. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to transition into a warrior 3 pose. Now, if you need to, you can step that right foot in and then extend, or try reaching more through your hands. Transition the weight into your left foot and then press to standing. Arms are extending forward, right leg back. Flex your toes and draw your toes down. Navel in, feel your low back working to keep that back leg lifted. The stronger that back leg is, the better job it'll do as not being dead weight. So it'll feel a little bit more buoyant. Take a breath in. Exhale, fold. Gaze back to your right foot. Make sure those toes
are pointing down towards the mat, and take a gentle fold. This is where that prop of a block or something that you can press into might be helpful at the front of your mat. Inhale. Exhale. All right, if you want to, you can stay here or maybe even take a little kick, heel to butt. You're doing it, do it 3 times. On the exhale, rocking forward. And then step back. Find plank pose, inhale. Exhale, start to drop your hips. Inhale, pull through, tuck-toed up dog. Exhale, down dog. Whew. Lots of stability, lots of slow work tonight. So finding a way to pull your strength in as we, again, find these unbalanced poses, matching the front and the back. All right, inhale slowly, reach your right leg up. Exhale, bend your right knee. Heel will drop behind you. Inhale, straighten your right leg. And then exhale, bring it through. Thigh towards ribs. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, open your right hip. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, draw it through. Now working just one breath to transition. Inhale, back and open. Exhale, draw it through. Rock forward to plank. Inhale, open. Exhale, through. Inhale, open. Last time, exhale, through. Inhale, open, pause. Stay there or flip your dog. Push your chest open towards the front of your mat. Lift your right arm up. Right foot becomes a little kickstand behind you. And then plant your right hand. Spin, draw your right knee through and plant it down on the mat. Make any adjustments, pulling that right leg a little bit more forward. And then cushion under your left knee if you'd like, and let your left knee come down. Press the top of your left foot down. Inhale, swing both arms up on Janayasana Low Lunge. So again, we're going to use our hands to give us a little bit of support tonight, a little bit of a physical reminder, right, as to what's going on. So you're going to take your right hand, drop the 3 fingers in, hang loose sign, and then pinky down, thumb up, press your knuckles into your low back. And you have to work it up and down, but it's almost like a puzzle piece. It just kind of fits, right? And use that thumb to kind of draw that vertebra up. That thumb will probably find right about that spot where your lumbar and your thoracic spine meet. And then draw it forward, take your left hand, bring it to your core. Make sure your core is activated. Start to draw your left knee a little bit more forward. Inhale. And exhale. Move your gaze up. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly release both hands down to frame your right foot. Begin to bend your left knee. So we're dropping down first because that brings our lunge a little bit longer. And then if you bend your knee, you're no longer on the head of the kneecap, right? You're a little bit past it, more on the head of your quad. Keep that bent knee, slowly work your hands up your right leg. Whew. And then you start to feel that hamstring turn on. That's a good thing. All right, keep your right hand on your right leg and then reach your left hand back, capture your left foot. Then you can always drop back, find that scarf or long item and lasso that foot. As you draw your heel towards your glute and feel your psoas start to open as you drop your hips forward. Notice what's going on in the front leg. It likes to drop out to the side, like kind of like a melting slab of butter. You want to keep that integration. Pull your right knee in, lift your chest. Slip your left hand to the inside of your left foot. So that's going to open up your left shoulder a little bit more. And then bring your right arm up. All right, so you can no longer rely on that right arm for support. Instead, the core has to turn on. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release your left foot, toes tucked. Bring your left arm up to your right to match. Keep those toes tucked, draw forward. Whew. And then press your left leg towards straight. Whew. Legs are burning. You can inhale. Exhale, start to drop forward. So we're transitioning forward. If you have a really wide lunge, you might need to take a little step in with that back leg before you make your transition. You can also just walk that foot all the way in. Move your gaze down to the floor, bend your right knee more, and then slowly come up. Virabhadrasana 3. Spin your left toes down. Reach both fingertips forward. You want to bring your left hip down as well. Core is turning on, low back is working. See if you can find a balance here. Inhale, exhale, vertical splits. So again, pull in that block, if you'd like, under your hands. Once you get your hands down and pressing into something, it's easier to kind of square them off. So if that left hip was opening, which we know what the opening feels like from in down dog, we know what closed feels like from drawing our hips through. So you want it closed, and then if you'd like to, 3 donkey kicks, heel to butt. Inhale, exhale, rock forward and kick. So you want to do the inversion on the exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then right foot down, left foot back, both toes back. Inhale, plank, exhale, start to drop your hips down. Inhale, tuck-toed up dog. And exhale, down dog. All right, from here, bring your knees down to the mat wide, toes to touch, and press back into child's pose. Let your forehead rest down. Shimmy your hips back so that they come to hover over your heels. Keep your arms stretching long. And then find a place where you can rest that third eye, your forehead, down on the mat. As your hips get long, drawn back, feel a stretch in your low back, in your chest, in your arms. Last time, inhale and exhale. Move your gaze up to your fingers, slowly press your hips up, tuck your toes, and then press back, downward facing dog. All right. A little bit different, but similar and gaining on what we have worked on already. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, open your hips. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, draw it forward. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, pull your knee through. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, pull it through, plant your left foot down. This time, keep the right leg lifted. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. So you can also do this with Virabhadrasana 1, but I'm going to keep our back heel lifted. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, straighten your front leg. As you straighten your front leg, back heel is lifted. See if you can pull your front toes up off the mat. So if I press that foot down, a lot of times my leg is locking out. If I curl my toes up, it's so hard to lock that leg out. Instead, you feel all the muscles turn on to stabilize. So a little trick, toes up. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Inhale, press through your feet, lift those toes up. Pyramid pose, exhale, lunge. Last time, inhale and exhale. All right, from your high lunge, you're going to take and pivot that back foot down, opening up now into Virabhadrasana 2. So our hips are open, but it should feel good after opening up our leg in our downward facing dog. Arms reach forward. Inhale, exhale, extended side angle. So the front leg, or the front hand rather, is going to reach for your prop. Now, if you don't need a prop, you can bring it to the inside of that leg. And then we're going to move that prop to the outside. Inhale, press to straight, Trikonasana, triangle pose. You're like, that's fun, but this doesn't have anything to do with low back. All right, so we're going to start to walk it out. Bend that front knee again. Transfer that block forward as far as you can reach in your high lunge. Now we're going to move our weight, just like we did when we were in the high lunge, into that front leg. So start to lift the back heel. You can draw it in and transition forward. All right, so this is Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. Flex that back foot, lift the leg so it's parallel with the ground, arm up. All right, so it's really easy here to balance forward and back. We're gonna add in the last complexity of a back bend. So you're gonna bend your top leg, reach back with your hand, capture the top of that foot. Then start to kick that foot into your hand. Push your chest forward. It's easy here to disengage your core, but you need that core to stay balanced. So draw your navel in. Maybe even lift or hover off of that front block. Keep pressing that top foot into your hand. Another breath in. And then exhale. Slowly bring weight back into that front hand and release the leg. Stretch your arm up overhead and then down. Standing splits, step back, plant your hands, left foot back. Inhale forward, exhale, drop your hips. Inhale, tuck-toed up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, on to the next side. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hips. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, draw it through, knee to chest. All right, now one breath, one movement. Inhale, up and open. Exhale through. Inhale, up and open. Exhale through and plant your right foot. Nice, long lunge. Keep the left knee lifted. Inhale, press up, high lunge. We can inhale and exhale. All right, then inhale, press your front leg to straight. Just automatically lift those toes because I know I won't knock out my knees. So again, notice if you're locking out, you can start to Engage more through your foot, and we'll begin to flow. Exhale, come down, high lunge. Inhale, press up, pyramid. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, high lunge. Last time. Inhale, pyramid pose. All right, come back to your high lunge. Pivot that back left leg down. Heel toe your front leg so you have heel to arch alignment, and then open up your arms. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Hand comes to the inside of your foot to start. Reach your left arm overhead. You can find that block, prop, or do it without. And then move that right hand to the outside of the right foot. All right, bend that right knee. Lift the back heel. Slow transition forward. And your front arm, you want it to stack. So as you press into that block or to the floor and start to open, the left arm stacks on top of the right, right? Perpendicular to the floor. Left leg extends, flex that foot back. Take an inhale, exhale. All right, so find your bearing here. Engage your core, start to bend that left leg, reach back with the left hand, capture the left foot. Keep a gentle bend in your standing leg. Begin to kick your foot into your hand. Core is engaged. Maybe work on hovering this front arm off of the floor or off of the block. Another breath here. And exhale, move the weight back into that arm. Release your foot, extend the left arm up overhead. Pivot and plant both hands down. Step the left foot back, step the right foot back. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower your hips. Inhale, pull forward, upward facing dog, tucked toes. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Slowly lower your knees down to the mat. All right. Last pose before we drop down onto the mat and do a twist. And you might have thought, man, she's talking about camel and we're in bridge. All right, now's your chance to do your camel pose. So you want to set your knees down. So again, your femurs are running parallel. 2 fists in between your knees is also a good measurement. All right, with those knees and hips stacked, you can choose to either tuck your toes or press the tops of your feet down. So some people feel more stable in one option versus the other. I think I like tuck toes because it reminds me to keep my hips pressing forward. All right, start by taking one hand, make that hang loose sign, and then use that to support and lengthen your low back. Notice how you are a little bit taller. Reach your chest, your sternum up towards the ceiling. And then with this front hand, engage, just let it rest on your core. So again, we're thinking about what our core is doing. Use your thumb, lift, and exhale. Start to let your gaze drop back. Notice if underneath your front hand, you let go of your core. Keep it turned on, lengthen your low back, lift your chest up, and exhale, drop back. All right, once you get to your spot where you're like, this is as far as I go, make sure your hips are still forward over your knees and take 3 Ujjayi breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale, slowly come back up. Hands on both thighs, untuck your toes and sit back on your heels. If this is uncomfortable, then pull that blanket or block underneath. Like this. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, gently twist to the right. Back hand can either find a foot or you can find the waistband of your pants to get a little bit deeper. Slowly release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, straighten. Maybe deepen the twist. Find something that you can grip into and exhale, twist. Slowly release. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands forward, lift your hips up. Move any props out of the way and swing your legs around. Ground your heels down into the mat, lift your knees up, and then slowly lower yourself down to the mat. Once you get down, bend both knees. You're going to take your right leg over your left. Walk that left foot in so it's in midline, and then drop both knees to the left side. Extend your right arm out, palm up. Take your left hand and either extend that as well, or use your left hand to anchor the outside of your right knee. Adjust how close you draw your knees up or down, making sure that this pose feels good and gives a little bit of opening to your low back. Inhale. Exhale. Feel your navel draw in and the twist deepen. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly release your left hand. Bring your knees back up. Unwind. And place your low back square in the middle of your mat again. Left knee draws up and over. Heel toe your right foot in towards midline, and then drop both knees over to the right side. Sometimes there's a snap, crackle, pop in the supine spinal twist. Extend your left arm out. Right arm can do the same, or anchor the outside of your left knee. Again, make adjustments. Maybe knees tuck in more, or you keep them a little bit farther away. Whatever feels good to get any releases out of your low back. Inhale. And then exhale. Wrap your navel in. Feel the twist deepen. Inhale. And exhale. And slowly release both arms. Bring your knees back into center. Unwind your legs. Press them down into the mat. Lift your hips up and then set your hips square. Walk your legs out. Drop your toes out to the side and let your hands come down by your side, palm face up. Do you lie here extended on your mat? Again, notice your breathing. Notice your spine supported under the mat. Notice how much easier it is to let your body release, to find stillness. And then as you lie here, say thank you to yourself for going through the last 60 minutes of slow but rigorous exercise. Letting yourself tap into your physical body and your breath. And allowing yourself to let go of all of those nagging thoughts, the distractions. Allowing yourself to be fluid and flexible. Just stay the course. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and draw your knees up. Plant your feet down. And then roll to one side. Beginning to push yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together to heart center. Let your shoulders drop back. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, draw your thumbs to your third eye center. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.